In Australia, as in most comparable countries, the development of a fulsome understanding of child sexual abuse has been appallingly slow. In the absence of an appropriate policy framework to prevent child sexual abuse, generations of children have endured terrible harm. Within the broad scope of child sexual abuse, one issue has been a particular subject of silence, confusion, and fear. Harmful sexual behaviors by children continue to be very poorly understood. Through private interviews, written submissions, expert evidence, and a case study focused on harmful sexual behaviors in schools, the Royal Commission into Institutional Responses to Child Sexual Abuse focused its considerable analytical expertise on this much neglected issue. The findings demand our attention and action. The Commission's findings. During private sessions, the Commission heard that nearly 1 in 6 survivors of child sexual abuse had been abused by a person under 18. Incidents had occurred across a range of institutional settings, including out-of-home care, school, and youth detention. During its term, the Commission built a nuanced picture of the harms endured by children subjected to sexual abuse by another child. Read more. Royal Commission recommends sweeping reforms for Catholic Church to end child abuse. The Commission's work dispels the powerful misconception that children with these behaviors warrant the same response as adults who perpetrate child sexual abuse. In many cases, these behaviors in children are a trauma response, a replicatio of prior abuse, or a reaction to exposure to pornography. The Commission reports that children exposed to violence in the home are considerably overrepresented in the group of children with harmful sexual behaviors. Further distinguishing children from adult perpetrators, the Commission affirmed that children's developmental stage means they have a particular capacity for rehabilitation and, when provided with appropriate therapy, are unlikely to continue with the behaviors. Yet a widespread lack of understanding about these behaviors means that children are not always provided with the appropriate response. Harmful sexual behaviors encompasses a broad range of acts, and the Commission is clear that a one-size-fits-all response is inadequate. At one end of the spectrum, a child's problematic, rather than harmful, behavior may be outside the developmentally appropriate range, or outside accepted social norms, such as self-stimulation in public. The Commission recommends that early and appropriate responses require adults who work with children have knowledge about children's sexual development. Where a child's behavior harms other children, adults, or animals, it is important that the seriousness of the behaviors be acknowledged. Timely reporting and appropriate specialist assessments are also paramount. At present, the lack of understanding in Australia means incidents may be overlooked or dismissed as child's play, an outcome recounted repeatedly to the Commission. Where adults dismiss or deny harmful incidents, they actively perpetuate the harm for both the child with the behaviors, and children subjected to the behaviors.